Welcome to Thomson Reuters. To begin, open your browser and navigate to your product's sign-in page. These steps are the same whether you're signing into CoCounsel or any of your Thomson Reuters products. If you have subscribed to a new product but have an existing Thomson Reuters account, just sign in and begin your work. For example, if you are new to CoCounsel but already have a Westlaw Precision or Practical Law subscription, you can sign in with your existing account. You do not need to enter a new registration key. If you are new to Thomson Reuters products and you have received a registration key via email, then select Create OnePass Profile. Now enter your email address and select Continue. Next, it's time to build your profile. Provide your first and last name and confirm your email address. You'll also see an option to add additional email addresses. This is especially useful if you have a paralegal or administrator who needs to receive account notifications. Once you've entered that information, select Continue. Now you'll need to create a username. As a best practice, use your business email address. After that, choose a password that meets the security requirements and confirm it. You'll also select a security question and provide an answer. Remember, usernames, passwords, and security question answers are case-sensitive. Once everything looks good, proceed to create your OnePass account. After creating your profile, select Register a Product to continue. From the drop-down menu, select your product from the list of Thomson Reuters offerings. Enter the registration key you received in your email. This key is essential for accessing your subscription. Assign a custom label to your registration key. This personalized label helps you easily identify which subscription you're accessing, especially valuable if you use multiple Thomson Reuters products. Once complete, save your product registration. As a OnePass user, you can now log in with your username and password on any Thomson Reuters product sign-in page, accessing multiple services with ease. Before selecting Sign In, you may also check the box next to the following optional settings. Save username and password, and remember me. If you experience any issues signing in, you have options. If you forgot your username, select Forgot Username. The Forgot Username window will appear. Enter your email and then select Recover Username. If you forgot your password, select Forgot Password. The Forgot Password window will appear. Enter your email and then select Reset Password.
As a legal professional, you never know when you're going to have to navigate new or unknown areas of law. You're expected to pivot and provide quick answers on a broad range of issues. Understanding the point of law is one thing, but it's often the practical application of it that can send you down a long, arduous, and uncertain path. You need reliable and up-to-date resources to help you understand how to proceed. That's when you turn to Thomson Reuters Practical Law. Practical Law has easy-to-understand resources written and maintained by full-time dedicated experts to provide the insights you need to understand what's important and why, so you can get the answers quickly and apply it with confidence. The user-friendly interface makes it easy to find practical guides and precedents whenever you need them. Use practice notes to get plain language explanations of complex legal issues. Streamline your drafting with standard documents and clauses coupled with insights from experts who have years of experience in their practice area. Checklists and flowcharts give you confidence that you've covered all the bases and your work is ready for review. Extract even more power from Practical Law with Practical Law Dynamic Toolset with CoCounsel. State-of-the-art visualization tools, data-driven charts, and CoCounsel Generative AI help you navigate new or unfamiliar areas of the law. Use Search and Summarize Practical Law, a CoCounsel generative AI skill to accelerate the way you access Practical Law's trusted content. Ask a natural language question in the integrated chat to get a synthesized summary with links to the most relevant Practical Law resources. Knowledge Map is a dynamic way to explore topics and resources, allowing you to visually navigate through Practical Law's collection to get a complete picture. Matter Maps gives you an overview of the core phases and tasks in a legal matter with links to key resources at each phase. Interactive Matter Maps allow you to take control of your matter by customizing the map to your needs, helping you complete your work more efficiently and effectively. Identify local laws faster using Quick Compare. With just a few clicks, create custom charts that answer key questions across states so you can explore the topics and data points that matter most to you. Search, review, and compare deal terms with What's Market. Instantly create data-driven insights and visualizations so that you can analyze and share market trends in a fraction of the time. Practical Law covers all major practice areas and is the only legal know-how solution supported by a team of over 650 full-time, dedicated, and experienced attorney editors who obsessively monitor the law and create resources to help you quickly get up to speed and practice efficiently. Whether it's an unfamiliar matter or an ever-evolving issue, Practical Law has you covered.
Imagine you're an attorney preparing for a client call about a product sale. You need a solid sale of goods agreement, fast. Open Practical Law and use CoCounsel's Find a Practical Law document skill to locate a vetted template in minutes. You're ready, confident, and back to billable work. While CoCounsel's appearance may vary slightly across platforms and with product updates, the core concepts and functionalities demonstrated in this video remain consistent. Your access to certain skills may depend on your organization's subscription. As a reminder, the CoCounsel skill or workflow demonstrated in this video is available anywhere you access CoCounsel. On the Practical Law homepage, select Access Now from the Search and Summarize Practical Law box, located at the top right of the page. Enter your question in everyday language. Include key facts and be as specific as possible. For example, ask Practical Law to find a sale of goods agreement where the buyer has leverage in delivery, payment, and risk of loss. When you finish entering your terms, select the Chat button to send your request. CoCounsel processes your request and searches for relevant documents. When results appear, a list of relevant documents displays on the screen. Select the document title to open it in Practical Law, or choose the Open in Word icon to work with it in Word. Below each title, see the document type, such as Standard Document, its current status shown as Maintained, the jurisdiction, and the practice area. Select Show More to view a summary of the document. With Find a Practical Law document, Practical Law searches for you, saving hours and providing the exact document you need, right when you need it. Imagine you're a corporate attorney and you're drafting a services agreement for a new client who has experienced payment delays with previous vendors. Your client specifically wants robust protections for late payments. You need to quickly find tested payment clause language that addresses these late payment remedies. With the Find Practical Law drafting language skill, you can quickly find clause language from trusted practical law resources, enabling you to focus on client strategy rather than searching for precedent language. While CoCounsel's appearance may vary slightly across platforms and with product updates, the core concepts and functionalities demonstrated in this video remain consistent. Your access to certain skills may depend on your organization's subscription. As a reminder, the CoCounsel skill or workflow demonstrated in this video is available anywhere you access CoCounsel. To get started, from the Practical Law homepage, select the Access Now button from the panel on the right under Search and Summarize Practical Law. In the chat box, enter your question in everyday language. Include any details that would be helpful and be specific about your request. In this case, you're asking, find payment clause language that addresses late payment remedies. When you're satisfied with your question, select the Send Chat button. Practical Law will begin processing your request. The system analyzes documents and uses your specific request to locate relevant clause language. When results are returned, you'll see a list of clause language that matches your request. The clause language is provided below the title of each clause. A copy button is available in the lower right corner of the clause language.
making it easy to paste into your drafting source. Select the title link to open the full document in Practical Law. Finally, you can get additional details about the clause source by selecting the Show Source drop-down menu. This will include another link to the full document, what kind of document it is, if it's current, maintained, and what jurisdiction it's from. By using the Find Practical Law drafting language skill, you can reduce risk and work more efficiently by accessing attorney-drafted, maintained clause language instead of starting from scratch. This tool helps you quickly locate tested provisions for your agreements, ensuring you can deliver high-quality work efficiently while meeting your client's specific needs.
Researching an unfamiliar jurisdiction, compiling a state survey, or comparing laws across multiple jurisdictions is typically tedious and time-consuming. Practical Law provides organized answers to these challenges through State Q&A. With State Q&A, you can instantly find and compare state-specific requirements on a variety of key legal topics. For this example, let's imagine your client wants to see a state survey on employee privacy laws. To start, from the Practical Law homepage, locate the State Q&A resource section on the right panel of the screen and select the Access Now button. Next, you want to compare a select number of states your client is located in, so let's select the State Q&A comparison tool. First, choose from several topics organized by practice area. For this scenario, select Employee Privacy Laws under Labor and Employment. You will see a list of some of the most commonly asked questions on the selected topic. Choose the legal questions you'd like to compare or select all. For this example, select all. Then, press Select Jurisdictions. Now select the jurisdictions you want to compare. You can select all or choose specific jurisdictions to compare. When you're satisfied with your selections, press Compare. You'll now see answers to the selected questions. You can look at each jurisdiction individually or all together. To navigate between questions, use the arrows at the top of the screen. Use the Edit button to select or deselect questions for comparison. You can save this comparison to a folder or email, print, or download the results using the options on the right. With a few quick, easy steps, you have accurate answers from multiple jurisdictions that can aid in advising your client in their next steps with Practical Law's State Q&A. To start looking for resources and answers to your how-to questions in Practical Law, use the search box to type in keywords, phrases, or more advanced queries. Imagine your client has called inquiring about their right to do background checks on new employees in the company's California office. Start by entering what you need in the search box at the top of the screen, which uses plain language searching. As you start typing what you need, you'll notice suggested search terms from document titles and key terms. Remember, if you enter more than one search term, the search engine will automatically perform an AND search, meaning you can expect to see results that only contain all the terms you have entered. If you want to bring up documents including either search term, use or between the terms, you can search using plain language or using traditional terms and connectors. To view the available terms and connectors, select the I in the search bar. You can narrow your search to a specific practice area by using the drop-down box or just search all content across Practical Law. For this example, select the practice area Labor and Employment. To execute your search and review results, hit Enter on your keyboard or press the search magnifying button. Your search retrieves content from each of the relevant resource types. You'll notice yellow search hit highlights that indicate the specific term included in the resource from the search query. Relevance is the default result order. You can change your search preferences with the drop-down to date or alphabetically by title. Furthermore, you can change the level of detail you're viewing for each document, folder, and deliver the documents. On the left, narrow the results further with a term search by resource type, practice area, or jurisdiction. For this example, we know our client's office is in California, so let's narrow the results to only include California. Select a document to view by pressing the title of the document. You can use the toggle to show or hide highlighting of your search terms.
Use the arrows to navigate between search terms. You can also explore terms within the resource by using the Search Within function to find words or phrases within the document. You will find search terms highlighted in a different color than your original search to easily differentiate the terms. On the right, your Search Within term will appear along with links to all the locations where your term appears. Use the Return to List link to navigate back to your list of results. If you need to return to a prior step in your research, access your history at the top of the page. You can access your history from any page in Practical Law. When looking for something specific, practical law searching is a helpful way to locate the resources you need. When you're researching a legal issue and you don't know where to begin, Practical Law can provide you with an overview of a topic along with several relevant resources to help you get started. For example, let's imagine you get a call from an existing client or department. You usually work with them on their labor and employment needs, but this time, they have some questions on how to best plan for and manage a data breach. Since you haven't had previous experience with data breach response plans, but you want to help, you head to Practical Law to see what resources are available on this topic. First, type data breach into the search bar and hit enter on your keyboard or press the search magnifying glass to execute your search. You'll see a list of relevant resources related to data breach. You can choose to filter the search results on the left side in several different ways, including by resource type. In this example, let's narrow the results to toolkits. Let's take a look at this first toolkit, Cyber Incident Response and Data Breach Notification Toolkit. Toolkits provide you with a broad overview of a topic and highlight a collection of the top resources you'll want to review to gain a quick understanding, as well as explore materials that can help you tackle the work, should you decide to take it on. You can navigate the toolkit by using the table of contents or by scrolling. As you review it, you'll notice resources, including practice notes, standard documents, checklists, and other materials you'll need to get started. Resources included in the toolkit have been identified by our attorney editors as the most relevant resources on this topic. While these resources are not an exhaustive list of all the relevant content available on this topic in Practical Law, they are selected to provide a useful jumping-off point. Considering our current scenario, perhaps you want to review the practice note, Cyber Incident and Data Breach Notification, to deepen your understanding of how to respond to a data breach and review beneficial background information. Practice notes take a deep dive into the specifics of a topic. But before you begin reviewing, look at the resource summary to quickly assess the purpose of the resource, including what's covered to confirm it's relevant for your specific interest. Toolkits are full of incredibly helpful resources designed to help you gauge the breadth and scope of a legal matter and can provide the perfect starting point when an unfamiliar issue comes across your desk.
Legal professionals are increasingly facing pressures and challenges such as the need for greater efficiency and productivity, the demand for quick responses to legal questions, and the inherent risks of missing critical issues in their practice. Search and Summarize Practical Law is a generative AI-based question-and-answer tool that significantly enhances access to the legal expertise found in Practical Law. While CoCounsel's appearance may vary slightly across platforms and with product updates, the core concepts and functionalities demonstrated in this video remain consistent. Your access to certain skills may depend on your organization's subscription. As a reminder, the CoCounsel skill or workflow demonstrated in this video is available anywhere you access CoCounsel. To begin, select Search and Summarize Practical Law in the top right of the side panel. On this page, you can enter a natural language question into the chat box. Ask a legal know-how question, and the generative AI and large language models will search the entire Practical Law collection to read and summarize the answer from the most relevant resources. You will then be connected to the Practical Law content for validation and review. Take note of a few tips for writing your query. Use everyday language for your question and include key facts and details when possible. Use specific terms. For example, how can I strengthen a payment terms provision in a sale of goods agreement for my buyer client? To see your previous search and summarize Practical Law searches, select the link on the left. Imagine you're working with a client who would like to open a restaurant in New Jersey. Let's search using the query, "My client wants to open a restaurant in a shopping center. What considerations do I need to take into account to give them advice?" This is an incredible technology that is going to save a tremendous amount of time, but it is not infallible. To ensure that this new technology is used appropriately and safely, search and summarize practical law is not a complete substitute for the traditional research process. You still need to do additional research to fully understand important nuances and verify the accuracy of the AI summaries. You'll get a synthesized overview and summary of the key results. The AI is instructed that it can only ground its response in practical law know-how, and it must connect you to the supporting practical law content for validation and review. The citations are hyperlinked numbers in brackets. You can hover over a bracketed number, and the relevant excerpt from the practical law source will appear in a pop-up. Select a numbered citation to go to a document in the list of supporting materials. All the documents relied upon in the AI response are in the list of supporting materials, which allows you to easily and quickly evaluate the accuracy of the summarization above and conduct further research. From here, if you want to open the document, simply select the title to start at the beginning of the document. Alternatively, you can select one of the excerpts provided below to jump right to the relevant part of the document. At the bottom of the screen, there is a box to ask follow-up questions regarding your issue. For example, suppose you want to know what insurance considerations should be taken into account. The AI responds to your question and again cites relevant practical law documents that support its summarization. Finally, Thomson Reuters knows security and privacy are important to all legal professionals. All of our third-party agreements expressly prohibit any vendor from retaining or using our customers' data to train their language models. The next time you need a jumpstart in your legal know-how research, don't forget to start with search and summarize practical law.
What do you do when you want to familiarize yourself with an area of law because you haven't had any previous experience with the topic? Turn to practical law resources to quickly get up to speed on an issue or area of law. Let's imagine you're a new associate who has been newly assigned to work on a Chapter 11 bankruptcy case. You want to understand the steps and process, but you're new to your organization and haven't had previous exposure to bankruptcy law, and you need to prepare before a meeting with a more senior attorney. To begin looking for the guidance and information you need, you can either browse by selecting the relevant practice area or begin with a keyword search. However, for this scenario, we recommend starting with Practice Area Essentials, which can be accessed via the resource panel on the homepage under Additional Resources at the bottom. Practice Area Essentials include toolkits made up of a collection of practice notes, checklists, and state Q&As. The Practical Law Attorney editors have curated the toolkits by practice area to help you or your colleagues gain an understanding of an unfamiliar area of the law. The materials included in each toolkit will provide a high-level overview of key topics in each practice area. For this scenario, select the Bankruptcy and Restructuring practice area. Now, scroll through the materials or use the table of contents to locate the material most relevant to you. Let's take a look at Bankruptcy, Overview of the Chapter 11 process. This takes you a practice note. These include straightforward how-to guidance with clear explanations of current law and practices. They are designed to be read and understood in 20 minutes or less, helping you gain a big picture understanding of a topic or issue. Just like other resources in practical law, the individual materials contain indications of being maintained, navigational tools and glossary terms, and plain language guidance to get you up to speed quickly. To access the glossary and view a definition, simply press the blue hyperlinked term. Accessing term definitions within the resources makes it easier to read and understand the content, as well as master important terms of art in a practice area. As you review practical law resources, you'll notice citations to cases, administrative decisions, statutes, and regulations. Any primary law cited within a practical law resource is viewable, even if you don't subscribe to Westlaw. To view, press the citation. Note, this complimentary view of Westlaw content only applies to the linked citation, and not to other related primary law that you may see within that source. If you try to access content not included in your subscription, you'll see a screen with options to access the additional content. If you choose to access content outside of your subscription, please note this could result in an additional charge, but selecting the X or cancel will not result in any charges. To return to the practical law resource from Westlaw, press the back button in your browser. Returning to the practice note, you can continue exploring the topic of interest by viewing related content in the top right corner of the practice note. Here you'll find a list of other suggested resources related to the legal topic you are researching. To get a better grasp of individual steps and considerations to take in this process, let's look at checklists. For this scenario, select Timeline of the Chapter 11 case by type. Checklist timelines provide a visual of the various stages of the process. As you explore other checklists on practical law, you will also find them in the format of charts, lists, and flowcharts, all designed to help you get up to speed in the most effective way. Understanding processes and steps involved in a matter will help you in advising clients and managing their expectations, while also serving as useful guides in your own work and conversations with colleagues.
Drafting documents can be a time-consuming and complex process. When you want form language, advice, and guidance during that process, turn to practical law. Imagine you have a client who needs a retail lease for their commercial property. You are generally familiar with the topic, but you do not have an internal document to leverage. Use Practical Law's standard documents to start drafting. To begin, enter a plain language search for a relevant resource in the search bar. But if you're new to practical law or to a practice area, we recommend you begin by selecting a practice area. For this scenario, start with the real estate practice area. Now, click the topic Commercial Leasing. You are presented with a variety of materials to get started, starting with practice notes to help you gain an understanding of the topic. Now that you have narrowed down to the most relevant topic, search for retail lease. When you use the search bar within a subtopic category, in this case, commercial leasing, you'll only search within that universe of resources. Open the menu to change the practice area of your search, or search across all practical law resources. For this scenario, keep commercial leasing and search for retail lease. To get directly to drafting the retail lease, expand the resource type menu and filter by standard documents. You can also narrow your results by jurisdiction. To do so, expand the jurisdiction menu. While a variety of state jurisdictions are available, the national/federal jurisdiction often provides a useful template across different regions. For our purposes, let's choose the national/federal option. Next, let's select a relevant standard document. In many cases, practical law includes multiple variations of the same type of document, such as pro-party or long form and short form. This allows you to quickly start drafting with a standard document that has already been tailored to your client's situation. This is more than just a template. It is an easily customizable document. You also may be wondering what information is best to add, why certain clauses are important, and what impact it has on the legal agreement. That's where drafting notes come into play. To provide full transparency to the document's context and origins, every practical law resource provides a section at the top summarizing the resource and noting how it could be used. Before using a document, review the drafting note. Read this before using document. Here, you'll find additional helpful background information along with links to other resources that you may wish to review before drafting the document. Minimize the note by selecting the drop-down arrow. You will find similar notes throughout the entire document. The notes provide valuable help and clarification when you need it and help deepen your understanding of various aspects of the sample document. They often include background, legal terminology definitions, legal considerations, and drafting and negotiating tips. Whether it's your first time drafting a document or you are a seasoned expert looking to compare one of your own documents to ensure the latest legal requirements and practice norms, these tools can help you feel more confident in your work product. Now you know how Practical Law can help you get started with drafting.
Discovery in federal litigation can be overwhelming, and missing a key resource or task could mean the difference between a strong case and a missed opportunity. Imagine you're knee-deep in discovery for a high-stakes federal litigation case, a commercial dispute between two companies over allegations of trade secret misappropriation. The plaintiff claims that the defendant wrongfully acquired and used proprietary research, leading to millions in lost revenue. Practical Law Matter Maps provides you with a graphical overview of the phases and core tasks that need to be carried out for the planning, management, and execution of a legal matter. You can use these tools to be sure that you don't miss a step and to help manage your client's expectations. Begin by selecting Matter Maps from the column on the right on the Practical Law homepage. Then select the Practice Areas tab, Litigation, and finally, Discovery in Federal Litigation. On the Matter Map, you'll see a visual overview of the phases and tasks that need to be carried out for the selected issue. This map provides guidance from preservation of evidence to discovery motions. Let's look at the first task, Preserve Evidence. Each task takes you straight to relevant, task-specific content, selected by Practical Law editors, allowing you to access the best resources for any given task quickly. Let's look at the initial stages of federal litigation overview. Preservation of documents, which is a practice note. A jewel pane opens for you to begin reviewing the practice note. You have the option to view the full document, folder it, or email, print, or download a copy. Practical Law Matter Maps are expertly drafted templates for managing legal matters. Use them to guide your clients and manage work, ensuring you don't miss a step. Some of Practical Law's most popular resources are the ready-to-use timelines, flowcharts, decision trees, and checklists. Checklists are a reliable resource to guide your workflow. They deliver a thorough description of work and considerations at every step of the process. For example, let's imagine that your client has called you because they need a privacy notice. To identify and understand the process in developing a privacy policy, you may want to start with a checklist. To find the checklist you need, first select the relevant practice area from the Practical Law homepage. In this case, we'll select data privacy and cybersecurity. Next, choose a topic pertinent to your legal issue. For this topic, we'll select policies and program management. Use filters to narrow your search results to only show checklists. Expand the resource type filter and select checklists. Then choose the checklist most relevant to your task or research. For this scenario, select Drafting a Privacy Notice Checklist. Checklists are useful for managing your workload and delegating tasks among colleagues. Many checklists are extensive itemized lists, and some take the form of flowcharts and tables, a useful communication tool when outlining the scope of work and setting expectations with clients. If you're leading a team of associates, use checklists to make your meetings more productive and valuable, focusing on legal issues rather than questioning what to do. If you're new to a matter, checklists offer guidance and instills confidence, knowing you haven't missed a critical step. Practical Law checklists are designed to help ensure you've covered everything. Formatting rules and filing processes can be hard to keep track of as they differ by jurisdiction and sometimes even by judge. Let's imagine you are filing a motion for summary judgment in the Northern District of California, and you need a refresher on requirements. Turn to Practical Law to find helpful court filing checklists for guidance on formatting and filing process details. To access the checklists, under Practice Areas, select Litigation. From the Resources panel on the right, access court filing checklists. From the table of contents on the left, you can filter by appellate courts or district courts. Select your jurisdiction. After selecting your jurisdiction, select the relevant checklist. In your scenario, it's a motion for summary judgment. You can see that the checklist provides guidance on general formatting requirements, such as appropriate fonts, margins, and other specific guidelines. While saving time, practical law court filing checklists are designed to help you feel prepared, polished, and confident.